compared to the lesser of two evils compared to the government of Israel. Piker.
He just he got so mad he couldn't even get it out. He's like, the lesser of two. Why can't we kill him?
That was his verse. Like in 8 Mile, where you're Eminem.
Yeah.
That's after your.
And they just continue along with this nonsense.
The government failed. And there's not a lot
Oh
of
my God, I can't believe Jake Tapper's about to have a pen.
We're bringing many of those men in. We've already deposed several of them, and I'll name a name right now, Lex Wexner. We deposed him for several hours. That was a bipartisan deposition. The Democrats and Republicans both grilled our staff attorneys who are professional deposers, grilled Mr. Wexner, and we've released those videos. And, he either couldn't
This guy's so comical. It's weird that these people are acting as they would become staunch Politburo party loyalists on the condition that you aren't the figurehead of it. It's just nonsense, bro. I think many people don't even know why. Many people don't even know why they hate me. And not a lot of them have sincere ideological disagreements. There are some, on the issue of Israel is very obvious, right? But for the record, here it is.
Anti-Israel, anti-Semitic. So why are so many Democrats doing campaign events with him? We're going to explore that very question next.
Jake Tapper just straight up unconditionally called me anti-Semitic. You're a piece of shit, Jake Tapper. God damn, just uncritically. God, what a Hasbro final boss. Yeah. Ugh, so gross. I think that might be legit grounds for a lawsuit. It's just, I'm a public figure. I don't think you guys understand this, virtually impossible. It's not, and they know it too. That's why there's a difference between Jake Tapper saying that versus saying that I've shocked my dog or whatever. Okay, because the other one is far more actionable than something as up to the personal interpretation as claiming someone is anti-Semitic. You know what I mean? This link has less of a delay. All right, well, let's see. I'm excited to see what they do though. Yeah, also you have to show actual malice. Who's going to defend you on that panel is a Jake Tapper panel. No one's going to defend me on it. It's going to be an American Enterprise Institute person. And it's going to be maybe someone who's a liberal Zionist. And both of them are going to be we really shouldn't have people like Hasan Piker anywhere near the Democratic Party. I mean, this is so insane. I honestly think Jake's little peepee can't fathom that you're younger, taller. Okay, no, it's just, let's see. They're trying to keep you out of the mainstream. If you don't fold to their framing, you win and enter, in my honest opinion. Yeah. It's going to be 4 vigorously anti-Hassan people and 1 more tepidly. No, Jake Tapper midday is going to be 2 panelists most likely. And it'll be the American Enterprise Institute type of thing. It's the same with when he did the Zoran piece. The Zoran piece to talk about how up Zoran is.
Might not be a household name, at least among adults, but ask your kids. His new role as a midterm surrogate for some Democrats is proof that his political influence is expanding far beyond the streaming platform Twitch, where he has taken up residence. He is, without question, an online influencer with nearly 3 million followers. His rise as a prominent voice on the left is now driving a wedge between Democrats, and for good reason. Hasan Piker's past and present is checkered with controversial, if not outrageous, if not bigoted state comments like this one.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it. We totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit.
The ultra-Orthodox Jews leaving Israel, hilarious. Okay? If they serve in the military and then they get their untrained, inbred asses shipped into southern Lebanon, again, very funny.
It's Hasan Piker calling Orthodox Jews inbred. Piker has also posted comments such as these, where he unequivocally sides with Hamas, calling them the lesser of two Israels compared to the lesser of two evils compared to the government of Israel. Piker has since apologized for his comments on 9/11, but he stood by the rest. He's accusing others of taking him out of context. In a Wall Street Journal op-ed, the leaders of the Democratic think tank Third Way write, quote, "Mr. Piker is anti-American, anti-women, anti-Western, and anti-Semitic. No Democrat should engage with him. All should seek to push him to the fringe where he belongs," unquote. Hasan Piker just recently become an issue in Michigan. It's home to a competitive 3-way Democratic primary for governor. Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed, one of the 3 candidates and a former CNN commentator, announced that Piker will join him for 2 rallies in April. His opponents quickly seized on that, slamming the decision as unacceptable, calling Piker not somebody that you should be campaigning with at a moment when there's clearly a lot of pain and trauma across our state. Our Donnie O'Sullivan caught up with Piker over the weekend at a No Kings rally in New York and asked how he fits into the Democratic Party's future.
You have become an issue within the Democratic Party yourself. Tell us about that.
I don't think I'm necessarily an issue within the Democratic Party as much as I am an issue for a lot of consultants. I don't want fascism to win in this country. I don't want Republicans to win in this country. We can argue on the methods. Maybe you think that my worldview and my values and the policies that I want politicians to represent might be different than yours. But at the end of the day, I think we have the same goals.
I should note, I misspoke. It's a Michigan Senate primary, not governor primary. Jonah Platt is with us. He's the host of Being Jewish with Jonah Platt podcast. Peter Hamby is the founding partner of Puck News. And Peter, look, obviously he has said a lot of things that a lot of people find outrageous, and he called one Jew a Zionist pig dog. He has called Hamas the Palestinian resistance. He has justified October 7th.
That's
and on
true.
and on and on. What does his influence
I
tell
never
you about where
justified
the Democratic
October
Party
7th.
stands today? And I guess, is it despite those comments or because of those comments?
I think it's despite those comments a little bit. I mean, back to your first question,
called
what it
one
says
Jew
about the
a
party. I
Zionist
think
pig dog is
Dr.
crazy.
Abdul Al-Sayed is
One
looking
Jew.
for a lane in a 3-way primary. He is slightly behind in the polling. And like a lot of Democrats and a lot of progressives, after the 2024 election, wants to connect with young people, connect with young men, go into the manosphere, go into the podcast space. It just so happens that Hasan Piker is aligned with a lot of Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed's views on healthcare, on taxing the rich and billionaires, etc. He is a Bernie, AOC, Zoran guy. But with that, he has a long reputation of saying all of the things you just played here. I was just talking to you before the segment. I mean, I think it is a risk for Abdul Al-Sayed to have him come into the state. It's an obvious risk, but he is grasping for
This is one of
votes
the panelists.
in a crowded 3-way primary in a state, Michigan, which you remember from 2024, both in the primary, the Democratic primary, and the general election, has a lot of Arab and Muslim voters outside of Detroit, in Dearborn Heights, and Democrats have been suffering there, and I think he's trying to grab onto them. He's doing rallies at Michigan State, so he's trying to go after young people. But one thing I do want to point out, Jake, that you said in the intro, that he's not a household name, the Speaking with American Men project, which was launched to study young men by Democrats after 2024, polled Hasan Piker's name among young men. He's not well known at all. About half of young people don't know who he is. And then his favorable rating, he's -9%. He's underwater with faves. Only 20% of young men have a favorable opinion of Hasan Piker. And that's sort of why I say, is it worth the gamble to do this?
Interesting. And Joni, in that Wall Street Journal op-ed
I
that I
like
talked
that-
about the think tank
I
Third
like
Way,
that
they
their
wrote,
new meta is
"We're
to
all for
say,
big
oh, he's
tent,
just
but the
not
Democratic Party needs
he
to
has
draw a
no
line in the
emotion
sand. Hasan
anyway.
Piker and his fellow Jew haters belong on the other side."
He has
Tony
no
O'Sullivan
emotion anyway.
asked Piker to respond to critics who call him anti-Semitic. He quoted a few things that Piker had said, especially a Zionist dog or Zionist pig, or I think the actual quote was Zionist. Here is Piker's response.
I've spent my entire professional media career and far beyond that combating anti-Semitism. I've been doxxed, swatted by neo-Nazis for my consistent advocacy against anti-Semitism. I just also happen to be an avowed anti-Zionist. I believe Zionism is a very racist ideology. It's an ethno-religious supremacist ideology, and it's the underpinning ideology that has caused the genocide of Palestinians in the hands of Israel and also the United States of America.
Jonah, there's a lot to unpack there. What's your response?
Yeah, I mean, what Piker does that a lot of people of his ilk do is they try to inoculate themselves against claims of Jew hatred by pointing it out in places that aren't them. He's been very clear pointing things out on the right. Oh, that's anti-Semitism. These are the tropes they use. And then he'll use the exact same tropes and just sub-Jew for Israel, which is the place where all Jews collectively have a connection to, and is the homeland where more than 50% of Jews on planet Earth live. So it's not, he would never say Jews control the media, but Israel controls the media.
I don't even say that.
The Jews didn't
I don't even say
into the
that.
war with Iran and control the American government, but Israel does. And so he's able to sort of get away with some of this stuff in these subtle ways.
I love that these guys are literally
when
doing the
really his
conflation, by the way.
impact is
He
just as
tied
harmful as any
Israel to Jews, and then now is just going off.
anti-Semite. Just he's got a different name, and he comes from a different wing of politics.
It's interesting. Politico asked a bunch of Democratic politicians running for president, or who might run for president, if they would ever do his podcast. And the only two Jews thinking about possibly running for president, Rahm Emanuel and Josh Shapiro, both suggested that they might be willing to.
I think this gets to something important with this debate in Michigan. It's different to go onto his podcast and joust over ideas. I think seeing Josh Shapiro and Hasan Piker on his Twitch stream would be fascinating. I think Josh Shapiro is smart, and they would have a spirited debate, as we say in politics. The difference is going out to campaign with somebody, and the candidate, it's implicitly endorsing his views or suggesting, why don't you come to Michigan and campaign with me? That's the difference. I think candidates should be able to go on to podcasts with people who disagree with them. But yeah, I mean, the politics of Israel heading into 2028 are going to be fascinating. You're already seeing tons of Democrats kind of come out against AIPAC, but also defending Israel. Gavin Newsom obviously had to walk back, calling Israel an apartheid state. The other thing that's a factor here, the more Democrats engage with influencers heading into 2028, they're going to have to confront some views, things they might have said in the past.
Quick one-sentence final thoughts on this. You worried about the direction of the Democratic Party?
I'm worried. I agree that they should be able to debate, but they have to come in clear-eyed and know that they're there to debate and push back on these bad ideas, not to get chummy and have a fun conversation.
Thanks so much for being here. Great. What a great time to be in LA to have you both in studio. Really amazing.
Thanks, Jay.
The U.S. Army is launching an investigation into this. Apache helicopters.
That's awesome. What a panel, dude. It's hilarious they have to use old photos to make you look like 2016 bro. I mean, I don't think it was that bad. Controversial opinion. I don't think it was that bad. Like, yeah, he farmed a lot of the he farmed all of the talking points, right? But I'll take it, you know? Especially if they put my actual words against their claims, like their interpretation of my words, all of a sudden, that takes on a very new light. And that's the reason why the best they can do, and that point, that's the reason why the best they can do is say, oh, Hasan is actually anti-Semitic, but he's hiding it, right? Instead of being like, oh, he's an avowed anti-Semite, it's very clear. They have to go, oh, well, he's just like criticizing Israel, but actually he just means all Jews, which is an ineffective line of attack. And the other person has to basically concede on coming onto my podcast, but then say, but it's different when you have him on your campaign rally, right? They're trying to mitigate the harm there, because like they've completely given up on saying this is a dangerous radical anti-Semite. They're trying to imply that, but then also simultaneously claim that they're trying to imply that while simultaneously trying to claim that it's, you know, it's okay if you collaborate with him. You just shouldn't have him on your rallies. Does that make sense? So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I don't think this is a bad thing. It is funny though that the Puck guy's assessment is that I have no motion, and people that do know me hate me. He was like, no. We ran a poll actually, and nobody knows him. And the people that do know him, they hate him. Okay, they hate him a lot. Okay, then why are you talking? Then why are you bringing me up on a CNN panel? You know, if this is a no motion type situation, why is it that it's being discussed on CNN on the day that Israel has signed off on a death penalty sentence for Palestinians in captivity in Israeli concentration camps? And Itamar Ben-Gvir is popping champagne, celebrating that those concentration camps are now going to turn into death camps. I just felt like you were safer before this, and we want to keep you from this. Antifa worries? No, this is totally irrelevant. This is not. Check my last message. If you were, regarding the anti-Semitism slander, if you were actually anti-Semitic, they wouldn't have included a clip of you defending your record of combating anti-Semitism. Anti-Semites don't care about combating anti-Semitism. Go ask Nick Fuentes if he thinks he's anti-Semitic. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just, in this day and age especially, anti-Semites don't feel the need to hide. The people who are anti-Semitic don't need to hide their anti-Semitism, right? Candace Owens is not hiding that. I think O'Sullivan interviewed you and Tapper was pissed. It took off because of his station, so he did this table to try to take you down a peg. Yeah, a little bit. Hold on. I think, like I said, I think Americans are much more aware nowadays of like exactly how people try to deploy defenses for Israel by immediately calling any of its prominent critics anti-Semitic, you know? So that's it. But see, you're hiding it by saying you're not an anti-Semite. It's a stupid gotcha either way. Yeah, it's stupid because I'm not anti-Semitic. The most anti-Semitic shit that came out of that panel was Jonah Platt literally fucking saying all Jews have a deep embedded connection to the land of Israel. That is the unironic anti-Semitism. Okay? I do think you need to be careful with death by 1,000 cuts that they got carbon. The media just repeated things so often for so long that the public started to think there must be some truth there. I feel like clip farms are already proving this. No. Entirely different set of circumstances, an entirely different person. Corbyn is too kind. I'm not. That's number one. Okay? Corbyn's a politician. I'm not. I speak for 10 hours every day. And last but not least, and perhaps this is the most important difference, it's 2026. When Corbyn was getting cooked, it was an entirely different environment in terms of interpreting Israel. Okay? That's the difference. That's the major difference. Actually, not too bad. These days, Israel's unpopular and people aren't buying the criticism of Israel's anti-Semitism angle anymore. They included your words and people that will hear will understand. They're trying, but nobody's buying their outdated strats in 2026 because Israel is just that unpopular. In the end, it's more exposure and people get to hear your own words. Exactly. If people were doing this shit to Corbyn today and not in like 2017, Jeremy Corbyn's approval would skyrocket. A lot of people that want to defend Israel don't understand that this line, which is the most anti-Semitic thing. Hold on. What is this? This is, hey, Jewish Voice for Peace. This you. Jonah Platt, did you hit your head? Noah Colwyn says. Another sad case of Jewish stupids. Once our heritage was Einstein. Now it's grown adults who think that the NFL lays down / erases a real yellow line on the field for a first down. It's also even funnier. It's also even funnier because like they do this with Zach Polanski. They are doing this with Avi Lewis. Like Zach Polanski and Avi Lewis are both Jewish and anti-Zionist, right? Zach Polanski is the leader of the Greens. Avi Lewis is now the new leader of the NDP in Canada. And a lot of Gentiles, as a matter of fact, non-Jews, are so aggressive in the ways that they are attacking anti-Zionist Jews that you would think that the Gentiles are the Jews themselves and the Jewish people that they're attacking are fucking white supremacist Christian neo-Nazis. It's unbelievable. So just remember, it's totally ridiculous and it's just the dying gasp of a movement, right? Dying, it's like the last gasp. Gentiles. Oh, Noah literally just texted me and said Gentile. That's so funny. He's watching, I guess. And so are you guys. Gentiles. Yeah, it's in its death throes, right? Avi Lewis on his Jewish anti-Zionist roots. I come from a long tradition, a multi-generation tradition of Jewish anti-Zionism. As long as there's been formal pro-Israel Zionist organizations, there's been a tradition that has disagreed with that within the Jewish community.
At least one prominent Jewish group.
I think what a lot of Zionist Jews don't understand is that like these guys are unironically the last line of defense for non-Jewish people. Like they don't understand that these guys are literally holding on to the best of their ability to stop this like full tilt anti-Semitic approach to Israel. Because the more Zionist Jews and institutions that defend Jewish institutions that defend Zionism broadly declare that Israel is for all the Jews and all the Jews love Israel, and if you ever criticize Israel or anti-Semitic, every day there's new people that are anti-Israel, right? That means every day there's new people that are anti-Semitic by your assessment. It's fucking ridiculous. Everything that Israel does, it does for the international Jewry. We should purchase media outlets. We should purchase entire social media platforms because people are too anti-Israel, because people are too anti-Jewish, because they're too anti-Israel. What is the argument that you're presenting? What is the argument that you yourself are choosing to present here to the average person who hasn't been indoctrinated with Zionism at a very early age? You're telling people that all of the nascent anti-Semitic tropes, they have veracity, they have legitimacy. You're legitimizing them, okay? You're fomenting anti-Semitism. It's unfucking believable.
And few others have accused you of harboring anti-Israel sentiments that this group and others believe are harmful to the Jewish community. I know you yourself are Jewish, and you have, of course, supported Palestine over the last few weeks, the last few months, and during this campaign as well. I wonder, what do you have to say about that these Jewish groups are calling you anti-Israel at this point?
Well, I come from a long tradition, a multi-generation tradition of Jewish anti-Zionism. My great-grandfather was a leader in the Jewish labor.
Speaking of Jewish anti-Zionists, Felix Biederman is officially in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Long-awaited, long-time favored guest of the HasanAbi broadcast. Felix motherfucking Biederman is in the goddamn building. Okay, we're gonna get real. We're gonna do real talk. One of my favorite guests. Yeah, Felix disavowed this man. Yeah, I brought him in. I brought him in specifically to disavow me. I brought him in to the broadcast to basically say, you know, that Jake Tapper is right. I should have just waited for Felix to come to watch that segment. We might have to rewatch the segment, honestly. Because what is this? Not mincing words. When Israel commits a genocide in Gaza, we call them out. When the U.S. and Israel started a illegal and reprehensible war against Iran that sets the world on fire, we say Canada should have absolutely no role in it whatsoever.
We're not shy about saying the loud part out loud. We're not burying our politics in platitudes. We're communicating with straight talk, grounded in moral clarity.
When Israel commits a genocide in Gaza, we call them out.
Start an illegal and reprehensible war against Iran that sets the world on fire. We say Canada should have absolutely no role in it whatsoever. Third, we're not shy.
Yeah, Avi's the man.
Now, Hasan Piker,
he did an
might not
8-minute
be a
segment,
household
bro.
name.
8-minute motherfucking segment. Unbelievable. Is Felix in the room with us? Yeah, I imagined him. He's not even here. For non-Canadian chatters, they may know him better as the husband of Naomi Klein. True. Not to be confused with Naomi Wolf. Oh, no. He also said you justified October 7. Lol, just straight up lying now, trying to push deserve 9/11 and October 7. Yeah. Like I said, having me on, or having my words through the microphone of Donnie O'Sullivan at the No Kings protest is unironically doing a disservice to his argument, you know? Jake Tapper did a full panel on your boy.
What?
Here, pull the chair. But also watch out for this thing. That thing in the corner that like will move the desk.
Oh.
Yeah, this is tough. This is a tough. You got this. Hell yeah.
So was the Jake Tapper segment like pro or against?
Felix Biederman in the building.
Hello, everyone.
International superstar. Number one anti-Semite in America.
I've never even been put on those.
I know.
It's crazy. I don't know what I have to do.
It's actually unironically anti-Semitic not to feature you as an anti-Semite just because you're Jewish.
And there are, like, they do put Jews on there.
Who'd they put, like Norm Finkelstein?
Macklemore. You know, he had that song where he's like, when I was in the 3rd grade, I thought that I was Jewish. Because I drove a Volvo and I stirred the peanut butter.
Okay, well, here.
It was called Same Love, and it was about his friend who is Jewish.
That he's gay for.
Yeah, and they were going to get married, but they couldn't.
Oh, they had to fly to Cyprus.
Yeah. And that's sort of why, you know, the reason for his activism. It's actually quite selfish.
Yeah.
So I'm you know, because of a 360 deal with my management, I do have to write articles for the forward. I know it's bad, but I really want to buy a boat.
Please tell me you saw the Tablet magazine article that literally defended Nazism, like straight up.
Well, oh man, Tablet's one of the. I
gotta link-
I love
we gotta
all the,
look
I
at
love
that.
all those magazines, but like Tablet's the funniest one because it's for just like insane people. Like they're all kind of insane, but like the foreword in those ones, like half the articles are like the Jewish history of billiards. Why Fats Domino is Jewish.
Dude.
And the others are like racial
This one
invective.
is actually unironically inventing Nazism from first principles by defending Zionism. And it literally ends up saying, like, the Germans had a similar ideology. They called it the Volk. And it doesn't say Nazism at all.
Man, like,
It's
what are we?
fucking insane.
What's going on here, man? Like, I mean, I guess that is sort of like Tablet shit, is just to be like,
No, it's like urging other like ethnicities to do the same as Zionism.
that's very like 2016 alt-light stuff. Do you remember that? Do you remember how like
White identitarians?
it was like sort of a civic, like Paul Joseph Watson, those people would be like, every time that there was something like the referendum in Catalonia, they're like, well, I think anything that makes people think more about their identity is like good.
That's awesome.
What happened to PJ?
I don't know. I think he's trapped in Alex Jones's base. I think they fed him to Matt Schlapp.
yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Prison planet.
Prison, but like talk about a prison planet. He's living the life of the Gimp from Pulp Fiction in Matt Schlapp's rumpus room.
Yeah,
that's tough.
That's the real prison that he's in.
Yeah,
which is Matt Schlapp's rape dungeon that he's stuck in.
Oh my god. I always like felt bad for him. Well, not bad for him, but I could see the pain in his eyes because it was like there were those leaked texts between him and Jones where he's like, yeah, you can't say that like, Ursula von Leyen was on video like slurping baby soup. Like that makes us look stupid. And Jones is like, I hear you, I see you.
That's all right. Well, are you ready for this? I'm gonna issue a trigger warning. You might not have known this, but you're sitting next to a dangerous anti-Semite. Okay.
I'm sort of like trying to passively respawn, if you get me.
Yeah.
If this is how it goes.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's see what Jake Tapper had to say.
They are going nuts with the makeup. It's like, yeah, that's just a regular 71-year-old man.
Yeah,
with
he
no
looks
wrinkles.
hot. He looks fucking sexy.
I mean, he is a good-looking guy, but it's like it's fine to age.
Yeah, and a fantastic writer, gang banging in the media land. You already know.
That's my favorite. That kind of got me into media.
Might not be a household name, at least among adults, but ask your kids. His new role as a midterm surrogate for some Democrats is proof that his political influence is expanding far beyond the streaming platform Twitch, where he has taken up residence. He is, without question, an online influencer.
It was a fucking Washington, D.C. White House Correspondents' Dinner weekend. I don't know, some shit.
Influencer with nearly 3 million followers. His
Not
rise
from where you're, but like
as
the
a prominent
thing looks
voice
very
on the
steampunk.
left is now driving a wedge between Democrats, and for good reason. Hasan Piker's past and present is controversial, if not outrageous, if not bigoted comments like this one.
America deserved 9/11, dude. It. I'm saying it. We
Who's
totally
that bigoted
bet on
against?
ourselves, dude. Holy shit.
Buildings?
Yeah.
Cantor Fitzgerald?
Yeah. The Twin Towers.
Yeah,
dude.
like that.
Architecture.
Cantor Fitzgerald is not like a protected class.
Also, they made out like a bandit, or
Yeah.
at least Howard Lutnick did.
Yeah.
He was the one who really benefited from that.
Howard Lutnick, Larry Silverstein, like all these guys would also go, we deserve 9/11, but like in a good way. Like, oh, I really had I deserve to win.
Yeah, well, also, so did Donald Trump on the morning
Oh,
of 9/11.
man, that was so
when
good.
He called into a radio show and was like, well, now Trump Tower is the tallest standing building in Wall Street. Like,
That was awesome.
yeah, it's fucking dope.
I remember when I was at camp, I was on the riflery range, and it wasn't a counselor, it was just like an older kid. He was like, I mean, I just think it's a crazy coincidence though that like none of the Jews went to work that day. None of the Jews died on 9/11. But he was so stupid, he literally just thought it was a coincidence. He didn't think that like we did it.
Yeah, he was like, how fortunate, how fortuitous.
He's like, man,
someone
he
said
was
Nick
like,
Shirley. You went to camp with Nick Shirley?
oh yeah, I might have. He would have been a younger kid. you know, but
Yeah.
that's, I don't know. I think that's kind of cute that he was like, maybe man, that's why they're chosen. They're so lucky.
The ultra Orthodox Jews leaving Israel, hilarious. Okay.
There's my
If they
Ovadia
serve in the
Youssef.
military and then they get their untrained, inbred asses shipped into southern Lebanon, again, very funny.
It's
like he's saying it's because I said Orthodox Jews are inbred, which, you know, to be fair, out of the million times that I've said, out of the million times I've called, like, you know, every racial supremacist, ethno supremacist group inbred, you know, this is the one time where they could be like, well, we got them.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, look, man, any super insular religious community where it's like, they don't, like ultra Orthodox, they don't think if you grew up like Reform or even conservative, they consider that the same as like converting from just being like a Lutheran or nothing. And so it's, you know, you already have a small gene pool with Jewish people. So it's like, yeah. I mean,
no, but I'm not going to defend it. But my point is, like,
I am.
You should hear, I mean, you can attest to this as well, but like, you should hear how liberal Zionists talk about the Orthodox community.
Yeah.
If you think this is bad.
My shit's like, remember when I got in trouble for that? It's like, my shit's pretty mild to what they say. I think, like, whenever I would be stuck in traffic in South Williamsburg, I would get really mad. But I mostly think they're pretty funny to me. Like, I think their whole thing is so funny. There used to be this guy that I knew who, like, his dad was really loaded, but we knew his son. He was into like photography, and he was like a lib, and his main thing was just that like everyone should vote. We would solve all the problems if everyone voted. He wanted mandatory voting, and it's like, okay, whatever, man. And I would watch all the debates during like 2015 and 2016 at his place. And he was so committed to his whole ideal of everyone voting that his friend group was like a Frank Luntz focus group. You would go there, and it would be like, you know, a couple guys like you know, guys in their early mid-20s, white guys in their early mid-20s, like two black guys, and then like a 63-year-old Mexican guy in coveralls, a hijabi woman with a glass eye, and then like a random Hasid. And I always loved talking to the Hasid there because he was one of those. There's a lot of Hasids like this where they're like, I can smoke crack, but it just has to be like not in my community.
Well, there's also,
the Hasid would get so fucked up there.
There's also the stripper stuff, right? Like, isn't that like there's entire strip clubs that like specifically operate for like the Hasidic community.
There's an SVU about that, yeah.
There's an SVU.
No, literally, not like about the, but it's like that's a plot point that there's a special strip club that the Hasids go to. I mean, they're so funny to me. You know the story about how my great grandfather in the Russian Empire, they made him head of a fucking bar mitzvah, and he was like, that was the stupidest and least fun thing I've ever done. We're never going to be religious. And all the people who didn't think that, like, they haven't changed since that. They haven't changed since like 1870. And it just
when it was invented, by the way, which is again,
it's not that old.
I feel like that's the fakest part about this. Like, I'm not making like a theological argument before you say, oh, you're disparaging the Orthodox Jews, but like judging by all of the like supposedly traditional values, the assumption is like those are the OG Jews.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
No.
Judaism is like way, way older than that. This shit like was invented in Eastern Europe in like 1870, which is also precisely the reason why they wear like, you know, all the fur garb. Because like that shit works in fucking, I don't know, some dark Ukrainian town.
In Pale of Settlement.
But like you can't do that in like Boca Raton. You when you wear that at Boca Raton, you're going to be hot.
I mean, it's nuts. Like their entire idea is like, okay, all progress stopped in 1869. It's like that's the year you pay. It's just such a weird. It's such a weird choice.
I do love the hat.
They look awesome.
It's drippy.
They look awesome.
I like the hat, and I do like the tefillin, which is not just like an Orthodox Jew thing, but I do like the tefillin because it's like very Spartan, and they got a little Kaaba that they put on their forehead.
It is funny they have a cube.
Yeah.
I got I learned the hard way. When I used to live in Bed-Stuy with Mullen and Amber, one of the most fun times in my life. There was so many Chabad around there, right? And I learned the hard way. When someone asks you, "Hey, are you Jewish?" Generally, you should never say yes to that question because because
you're under attack.
Right, you're right. They're gonna be like,
not by
I'm gonna kill you.
not by who you think you're under attack by.
Yeah, I just went.
They want to convert you.
I was like, yeah, and he made me rap the tefillin and and I was so.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, that's why they ask you so you can do the prayer with them.
You just say no. Like after they go, "Are you Jewish?" and then they say, "Can I do a mitzvah?" and you say no.
Well, I'm people might not believe this about me because of the things I say and the way I act and my personality and not being a very good person. But I'm a really big believer in manners. That's
when you're supposed to say the Shahada and be like, "Oops, sorry, you missed your shot."
I don't know that one either.
It's the reverse. It's the reverse. Pulled me out of secular Judaism.
Well, no, I mean, that's what I started doing. So after that, because like I wasn't going to say no. There's something about me where when someone's a canvasser of any type, I don't care whether it's Planned Parenthood, Chabad, or like, even if you were like, "Hey, we're with the Montana militia and we want to kill everyone like you." And I'd be like, "Well, it's hard to talk to people on the street. I'll help you." But after that, I learned to just tell people I'm Turkish.
Yeah.
But oh my God.
That's what Brace was doing in Cuba.
I would not buy him as a Turk. I don't know how anyone was.
Well, there's not a lot of Turks that have made their way to Havana.
That's true. I fucked up though on a plane once. I was flying to our show.
Oh yeah, the guy he gave you the lemon.
Dude, I've never been. So I take. I wouldn't say I have a fear of flying. I have a fear of sitting still for 5 hours. And there's a special medication I take that's for this type of anxiety. I don't have anxiety, but I do, I want to be relaxed when I'm reading the Wikipedia article for like my wife and kids. That's the type of stuff I do on the plane. It's read sitcom Wikipedias. And because this famous pill, Xanax, it makes you kind of a dum-dum, at least for me. And this guy in the hat, the whole thing came out and was like, "Are you Jewish?" And I did not have the presence of mind to be like, "I'm Turkish. I'm fucking this and that." Dude, it was Purim. It looked like he was taking out a sniper rifle. He opened this huge package and he brings out a tree branch and a lemon and immediately starts telling me how much the fake lemon costs. And I'm like, this isn't real. No, dude, can you stop? Other people can see you. Don't start telling me how much the lemon costs. But he made me do a Hebrew prayer with him and shake.
You did the prayer?
I mean, I'm not.
You mouthed it?
All the Hebrew I know is Baruch atah Adonai melchenu. I'm done. That's it. I'm not very good.
Never heard you speak Hebrew before.
I'm not very good at it. We're not a very religious. I mean, the great grandfather renounced religion, and then my dad's like great grandparents were they were illiterate subsistence level drug dealers. They were like, heroin had just been invented and they were so stupid that they were like, "Oh, this stuff is so hard to sell." Like I come from a very ignominious line of people.
See, those things are actually rare, bro. He showed you a rare lemon.
Oh, was this like Dark Souls? I was supposed to kick it. I was supposed to kick him off a ledge so it doesn't affect my character tendency.
Yeah.
But then take the lemon because there's only one per game.
It's an unlockable side quest that you can only find after watching numerous YouTube lore videos.
The lemon and the branch are like northern regalia. You have to combine the lemon because that's like Demon's Bane, and the Soul's brand is the other one.
Wait, is this like a De Beers Diamond style situation? Why don't they just like make more of these? Are they like controlling the supply so that like the price is higher?
I have no idea because I held it and
Not
I was
on
like
some anti-Semitism shit. That's the first thing that I thought of with artificial scarcity.
No, yeah. I mean, in that business, like Amber told me she used to work in like some food factory in Bushwick, and there was a whole cottage industries of guys who come in like rabbis and are like, they have a clipboard and they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this stuff is kosher.
Yeah.
It's like, it is sort of like La Cosa Nostra.
Jake Tapper just announced part 2 of the panel on you. Oh shit, we're cooked.
Who's
dude.
on your panel? Who's on the panel about
Jonah
you?
Platt and Hamby, the Puck News guy.
I was just talking about Peter Hamby.
Yeah,
I was just talking about Peter Hamby on the episode we recorded. He wrote that article about Beto where he insulted he insulted the show, and he said they look like roadies from Mumford and Sons. And it's like,
wow, what a great reference.
Yeah, like
what a timely reference
it was
from him.
dated in 2018, and I also thought like, I listened to King Von, you asshole. I don't listen to. You know, my family had me listen to the old 97s. I listened to alt country, you fucking asshole. But is Peter Hamby still the Snapchat guy?
I think so, which is strange for someone at that age, right?
Yeah. Do you think other places try to poach you? Do you think like Live Jasmine is like, we want you to head your politics department?
What was it? No. Roblox.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? I'm Peter Hamby, and today we're going to be talking about the Roblox marketplace.
All these places are trying to poach. Do you think like Kick is like, we need you?
Yeah, you're the GOAT.
Yeah.
You are the greatest of all time when it comes to doing these news hits. We need that shit.
My name's Peter Hamby. Today I'm going to be making out with the Island Boys and talking about the moderate lane in 2028.
All right, let's keep going.
All right.
It's Hasan Piker calling Orthodox Jews.
This part is really funny. Look, he flubs it. He gets so angry he can't even read it out loud.
Inbred. Piker has also posted comments such as these where he unequivocally sides with Hamas.
As a lesser evil voter, I will once again repeat my harm reductionist credo. Hamas is 1,000 times better than the fascist settler colonial apartheid state, and the real harm happening here is that another illegal stolen land sale is taking place at another synagogue.
He doesn't even try to like defend the idea of like selling land on the city. It's just like, oh man.
No, I think he didn't know. He hadn't read the full tweet because it's really funny. He can't even like hit the line wide.
Right. Unequivocal. That is an equivocal defense of it. Like that's the joke.
It's Hasan Piker calling Orthodox Jews inbred. Piker has also posted comments such as these where he unequivocally sides with Hamas, calling them the lesser of two Israels compared to the evils. Lesser of two evils compared to the government of Israel. Piker.
He just like he got so mad he couldn't even fucking get it out. He's like, the lesser of two. Why can't we kill him?
That was his verse. Like in 8 Mile, where you're Eminem.
Yeah.
That's after you're. Well, yeah. That's why I thought of 8 Mile. You're like, but I know something about you. What would be the thing? You wrote an article or two, and he would be like Papa Doc. He would choke.
Yeah.
Sides with Hamas, calling them the lesser of two Israels compared to the lesser of two evils compared to the government of Israel. Piker has since apologized for his comments on 9/11, but he stood by the rest. He's accusing others of taking him out of context. In a Wall Street Journal op-ed, the leaders of the Democratic think tank Third Way write, quote, Mr. Piker is anti-American. And
yeah, all the goats are here.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. The real movers and shakers in the Democratic Party, the fucking Third Way, writing a Wall Street Journal op-ed.
They had two cones write that. I always feel like very inferior when I speak to a cone because they were like the best of the 12. They were like the strongest of the 12 tribes of Israel. And you have like the losers in my family.
The Biedermans?
The Biederman isn't even like. My dad's side, they were like stupid Russian Jews who like were like, oh, everyone thinks German Jews are like the fanciest, so we should just go there. But they will go to Germany and we'll make up a German last name, Biederman, which means petite bourgeois. we'll get that name, but we still won't learn how to read. And then we'll fuck that up, and then we'll come to America and make no money selling heroin.
And anti-Semitic, no Democrat should engage with him. All should seek to push him to the fringe where he belongs.
Feel like these cones are like.
Hasan Piker has recently become an issue in Michigan. It's home to a competitive
loser I am.
Three-way Democratic.
From my ancestors playing piano in the Russian military.
I mean, that's
come from a long line of losers.
That's kind of cool. That's not. I think that
might have been cool back then. I don't know. He might have gotten.
Granddad got pussy, dude.
He might have gotten some whiz on his thing.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Primary for governor. Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed, one of the three candidates and a former CNN commentator, announced that Piker will join him for 2 rallies in April. His opponents quickly seized on that, slamming the decision as unacceptable, calling Piker not somebody that you should be campaigning with at a moment when there.
It's like really funny that they're giving advice while they're in contest.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna take this sincerely, actually. Like we're running a race against you, and I think you probably shouldn't do this thing. It's gonna be really bad for you.
There's clearly a lot of pain and trauma across our state.
What about on the other side of that, being on the wrong side of an issue that's like 90-10 with Democratic voters?
Yeah.
Does that come up at all?
Yeah, notice how Dr. Abdullah al-Sayed isn't fucking turning around and be like, hey guys, don't defend Israel here.
Yeah.
Because he wants to win, actually. So he's going to be like, oh, nice. I'm glad that you said your piece on the issue of Israel.
I also don't like how in the last slide, they used a really wet photo of him.
Yeah.
I don't like wet journalism like that.
No, this is a terrible photo of me too. It's like I look chunky as fuck.
Donnie O'Sullivan caught up with
half
Piker
my
over the
photos
weekend
are
at a
worse
No
than that.
Kings rally in New York and asked how he fits into the Democratic Party's future.
Oh boy.
You have become an issue within the Democratic Party yourself. Tell us about that.
I don't think I'm necessarily an issue within the Democratic Party as much as I am an issue for a lot of consultants. I don't want fascism to win in this country. I don't want Republicans to win in this country. We can argue on the methods. Maybe you think that my worldview and my values and the policies that I want politicians to represent might be different than yours. But at the end of the day, I think we have the same goals.
I should note, I misspoke. It's a Michigan Senate primary, not governor.
Get it together,
primary. Jonah Platt is with us. He's the host of Being Jewish with Jonah Platt podcast. Peter Hamby is the founding partner of Puck News. And Peter, look, obviously he has said a lot of things that a lot of people find outrageous, and he called one Jew a Zionist pig dog.
Oh yeah, he called one Jew a Zionist pig dog. It's just a thing that didn't happen, by the way. That's just a thing that people claim happened, but it didn't happen, but it doesn't matter.
He's the founding partner of Puck News.
Oh my God,
and Peter,
he looks so evil.
Look, obviously he has said a lot of things that a lot of people find outrageous, and he called one Jew a Zionist pig dog. He has called Hamas the Palestinian resistance. He has justified.
That is
what it is. Like what are you supposed to go? Oh, Hamas. Oh, like what are you supposed to say? Fucking Are they collaborators? No.
I can't believe he called Hamas the Palestinian resistance. I mean, that's what it is. They are that.
Like there was seventh and on and on and on. What does his influence tell you about where the Democratic Party stands today? And I guess, is it despite those comments or because of those comments?
By the way, Peter Hamby mogs me here. He's so in tune with the Snapchat audience. Watch what he says now.
I think it's despite those comments a little bit. I mean, back to your first question, what it says about the party. I think Dr. Abdullah al-Sayed is looking for a lane in a three-way primary. He is slightly behind in the polling. And like a lot of Democrats and a lot of progressives, after the 2024 election, wants to connect with young people, connect with young men, go into the manosphere, go into the podcast space. It just so happens that Hasan Piker is aligned with a lot of Dr. Abdullah al-Sayed's views on healthcare, on taxing the rich and billionaires, etc. He is a Bernie, AOC, Zoran guy. But with that, he has a long reputation of saying all of the things you just played here. I was just talking to you before the segment. I mean, I think it is a risk for Abdul al-Sayed to have him come into the state. It's an obvious risk, but he is grasping for votes in a crowded three-way primary in a state, Michigan, which you remember from 2024, both in the primary, the Democratic primary and the general election, has a lot of Arab and Muslim voters outside of Detroit, in Dearborn Heights, and Democrats have been suffering there, and I think he's trying to grab onto them. He's doing rallies at Michigan State, so he's trying to go after young people. But one thing I do want to point out, Jake, that you said in the intro, that he's not a household name, the Speaking with America.
This is where he fucking cooks my ass, dude. He's going to be like, he's not even relevant at all.
American Men Project, which was launched to study young men by Democrats after 2024, polled Hasan Piker's name among young men. He's not well known at all. About half of young people don't know who he is. And then his favor rating.
Wow, I can't believe only 50% of young people know who I am.
It's not like Peter Hamby.
Yeah. You better respect Peter Hamby. He's been putting the fucking, he has been putting the work on Snapchat, texting every one of his 13-year-old fans and be like, "Hey, did you get my latest piece on Beto O'Rourke?
If you go to
did you know Rahm Emanuel is running for president in 2028?"
Peter Hamby has his finger on the pulse so much that his big article that I mentioned, where he said we were roadies for Mumford and Sons, was about how Beto is like, he has a chance to just crush everyone. Beto's a juggernaut.
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, this is sour grapes. I'm sad because like he owned me so bad. He's owning you.
Yeah,
but like
Peter Hamby famously also said, Beto O'Rourke gives me ankle cramping orgasms.
yeah. He was the guy. He created. Steve Kornacki stole this from him. It was a prostate simulation heat map of Beto O'Rourke's support. That's what Beto O'Rourke is, like a pinky going up and just tickling that thing. Mm-hmm. But if you go anywhere on earth, go to the nation of Gabon, go to North Sentinel Island. You could be like Muhammad Ali. They'll stare at you blankly. Michael Jackson. Who? Fucking Jack Harlow. What? Peter Hamby. And they're like, Snapchat.
Stop.
Snapchat politics reporter.
Stop.
Snapchat politics reporter Peter Hamby.
Yeah, everybody knows him.
Yeah.
But anyway, he doesn't end there. He also says, I'm very unfavorable.
He's negative 9%. He's underwater with faves. Only 20% of young men have a favorable opinion of Hasan Piker. And that's sort of why I say, is it worth the gamble to do this?
Interesting. And Joni, in that Wall Street Journal op-ed that I talked about, the think tank Third Way, they wrote, "We're all for a big tent, but the Democratic Party..."
Yeah, this is the thing he's citing. Charlie Kirk is less known, according to that one, than me. But this is before he got,
Who did this?
Oh my God, Dr. Umar.
Ooh.
Top 10 least recognized public figures. No, this is saying Sneeko is more recognized than me, right? Or no? Oh, wait. No. LeJuan James, C. Maldonado, C.E. Espina. Wait,
who are those guys?
Wait, what the fuck? Dean Withers, Tony Hinchcliffe. I guess it is more popular. Like they're saying Dean Withers is more popular and Tony Hinchcliffe is more popular and Dr. Umar is more popular and I am more popular than Sneeko, Charlemagne, and Charlie Kirk.
Dude, who did this fucking poll? Was this Peter Hamby just like texting people?
Who are the young men paying attention to? The Young Men Research Project.
This seems super reputable.
YouGov sample was weighed to match catalyst turnout targets, reflecting a Trump plus 5 electorate. 34% said they voted for Trump, 29% for Harris. Bro, you can't see it's top 10 least recognized public figures.
Oh, least?
Yeah, but like, so these guys are less recognizable than us? Is that what that means?
This is a really bad. Whoever took this, they were not paying attention in their econometrics class.
It was a poll he did with the Snap story. Okay, stop. That's not how it happened. Charlie is more recognizable than me, and Sneeko is more recognizable than me, and Charlemagne's more recognizable than me. But I mog Dr. Umar, Tony Hinchcliffe, Dean Withers, LeJuan James, C. Maldonado, and all the others. I mean, this is bad data visualization. Regardless,
so should Madeline McDougal, whatever the fuck, you know her, the red-haired lady in the Michigan race. She should go.
McMorrow. Mallory
McMorrow. She should go on Kill Tony. Because according to that graph, I'd like to go on there. I wouldn't do any comedy.
To draw a line in the sand, Hasan Piker and his fellow Jew haters belong on the other side. Donia Sullivan respond.
Wait, didn't we just see this?
Sub the is. I think this gets to something important with this debate in Michigan.
The only two Jews thinking about
what the
Palestinians in the
young men have a favorable
opinion
of Hasan Piker, and that's sort of why I say, is it worth the gamble to do this?
And Joni, in that Wall Street Journal op-ed that I talked about, the think tank.
Yeah, what doesn't make any sense about the whole like he's irrelevant is okay. Then why are you doing a fucking panel?
Right.
Like that's my argument, because like the other guy who did this was obviously I don't know if you saw this or not, but one of the architects of the Iraq War, David Frum.
Oh yeah.
David Frum asked Claude and found out that Claude thinks that I am irrelevant. He like doesn't understand how anything works. So he was like, well, his live concurrent viewership is 36K on average, which is way less than the 900,000 viewership of MS.
David Frump's so fucking dumb. It's also like,
It makes you really reconsider whether he truly was an architect of the Iraq War. Well, I guess it also shows how far we've fallen off the map because like those guys are infinitely more competent in comparison to
like Hegseth and you know one of Hegseth's like undersecretaries, he like follows me and a bunch of people, and apparently he's like notorious for having been like a chapel listener for the first like 4 years of the show.
Who?
It's some fucking guy. I should like actually know who this is. This is a bad habit of mine. I'll bring up something like this and I'll be like, yeah, there's some fucking guy and his name is Chester Fix. And I'll look it up and that's not his name at all. I got several details wrong. I'm sorry. I'll figure out who this is. I'll figure out who I'm talking about.
And then his favorable rating, he's negative 9%. He's underwater with faves. Only 20% of young men have a favorable opinion of Hasan Piker. And that's sort of why I say, is it worth the gamble to do this?
Interesting. And Joni, in that Wall Street Journal op-ed that I talked about, the think tank Third Way, they wrote, we're all for a big tent, but the Democratic Party needs to draw a line in the sand. Hasan Piker and his fellow Jew haters belong on the other side. Donny O'Sullivan, Piker, to respond to critics who call him anti-Semitic, he quoted a few things that Piker had said, especially a Zionist dog or Zionist pig, or I think the actual quote was Zionist pig dog, whatever that means. Here is Piker's response.
I've spent my entire professional media career and far beyond that combating anti-Semitism. I've been doxxed, swatted by neo-Nazis for my consistent advocacy against anti-Semitism. I just also happen to be an avowed anti-Zionist. I believe Zionism is a very racist ideology. It's an ethno-religious supremacist ideology, and it's the underpinning ideology that has caused the genocide of Palestinians in the hands of Israel and also the United States of America.
Jonah, there's a lot to unpack there. What's your response?
Yeah, I mean, what Piker does that a lot of people of his ilk do is they try to inoculate themselves against claims of Jew hatred by pointing it out.
As opposed to what? Just being like, yeah, you're right. Well, you got me.
It's also really
got
funny.
me, pal.
It's also funny because it's like, in this day and age, like, I don't think if you're an anti-Semite, you just say you're an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
Like, what do you like? No one is going around. Like Nick Fuentes does not have clips being like, well, you know, I've spent a lifetime combating against anti-Semitism. I find it to be a dangerous canary in the coal mine of fascism. You know, like that's not a thing.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Yes, the reviewing my media mention segment. What do you want me to do, man? It's been fucking 5 hours. Take a day off.
In places that aren't them. He's been very clear pointing things out on the right. Oh, that's anti-Semitism.
Many years. It's kind of like a feather.
He's tapped in with my shit though. Like he's like saying, I can call out right-wing anti-Semitism, but I can't call out the more dangerous anti-Semitism of the left.
These are the
I'm sorry. This is such a bad title for a podcast. Being Jewish with Jonah Platt.
Yeah.
Tropes they use, and then he'll use the exact same tropes and just sub Jew for Israel, which is
if I had a son,
the place
I
where
would
all Jews
punish him by
collectively
making him
have a
listen
connection
to a podcast called Being Jewish with Jonah Platt.
You notice that he did the thing where he like slammed immediately, like, well, all Jews have a connection to Israel, so he's just like substituting Israel for Jews.
Aren't these the same guys who are like, we should like never talk about trans stuff because it's just like not that many people and like it's tough, but just like the needs of the many versus the needs of the few.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there are more Americans who have had botched liposuction than Americans who have like a personal connection to Israel. Just like pure numbers. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
The homeland where more than 50% of Jews on planet Earth live. So it's not, he would never say Jews control the media, but Israel controls the media. And, the Jews didn't pull us into the war with Iran and control the American government, but Israel does.
Okay.
What a winning message.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. Every time these guys try to like vilify me on the boundaries of Israel, it's probably bringing more people to my side where they're like, yeah, he didn't say that out of thin air. Benjamin Netanyahu said it. Donald Trump said it. Marco Rubio said it. Like all of the fucking Gang of Eight that came out of that meeting looking terrified. We're all like, oh my God, we're going to war for Israel. So it's so fucking stupid that is like his number one counter is like, well, you know.
Yeah. It's also just like they can't defend the actual idea. Like anytime you are you go, okay, well, like what about the influence of like, you know, any number of individual like high net worth super pro-Israel donors or lobbying groups? Well, they'll just go, oh, are we serious here?
Yeah. Oh, this is cool. Anti-Semitism, sweetie.
Well, at the same time going, well, every Jew has a connection with Israel. So they don't like, there's no like way to challenge that idea. So you're just left with the idea of like, implicitly saying, okay, well, Jews did do this, but like you shouldn't say that. Which is such the other thing that is such a dead end.
No, or the other thing, which is quite literally people going, yeah, okay, well, I don't fuck with the Jews. Like that's what's happening right now. People are just like, you've inundated people over and over and over again with the idea that like Israel is doing this for Jews, and if you criticize this, then you hate Jews. And people are like, okay, well, I've seen too many dead children, so I hate Israel. If you're telling me over and over again as a Jewish person that this is for you, then fuck you is the attitude that a lot of people have. They're like, in this ham-fisted manner, like force-feeding anti-Semitism to people. It's fucking insane.
They don't understand that, like, this isn't like, people didn't just like see a tweet and they're like, oh, it's cool to be anti-Semitic now. Millions of people saw the worst images they have ever seen in their fucking lives. And then this guy comes out there and he's like, if you don't like this, you're anti-Semitic. How does that not result in at least like a few million people going, okay, I guess I am then?
Yeah.
If it's between liking and hating that, then what the fuck?
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's just like, it's so ridiculous. And anyway, it's just like it's crazy because I still am uncompromising and do actually fight against anti-Semitism, and they still do this shit to me. But I guess that's the reason why they do it. I don't know. I don't fucking
And so
know.
he's able to sort of get away with some of this stuff in these subtle ways when really his impact is just as harmful as any out and out anti-Semite. Just he's got a different name and he comes from a different wing of politics.
Come on, man. You cannot like, this is a real like, I'll give you something to fucking cry about situation.
Yeah. Also,
like, just wait, buddy. Just fucking wait.
This guy also that's on the panel has done like videos reading every single statement that Miss Rachel has made about Palestine. He's read like the hundreds of different statements that Miss Rachel has made and like gotten angry at it to an audience of 11,000 people. On YouTube, on his YouTube VOD.
Like, if Miss Rachel is just like, that's too outrageous, like, what is acceptable?
Yeah, exactly.
What is okay then?
The left still does not understand how Piker being an open Hezbollah supporter who calls Jews bloodthirsty pig dog and says it doesn't matter if rapes happen on 10/7 makes him an anti-Jew bigot. They still consider that criticism. And then Ethan Wolf, that's why they're working on helping people understand. Let's be clear. Hasan Piker equals Nick Fuentes. Two sides of the same coin. Don't campaign with either.
What if I campaign with both? What if I was running for like a position that had nothing to do with like Israel? I was running for like
comptroller.
Yeah, water reclamation district in Illinois. And
you brought the Bloods and the Crips together.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of what James Fishback is trying to do.
Yeah.
He's just like picking up every side he possibly can.
It's really weird. It's almost like he is explicitly trying to be into things that someone who goes to high school would like. I don't know why he would do that.
But yeah, this is basically
it's really
it,
weird.
by the way. Insulting Israel is like insulting my wife, U.S. Ambassador to Israel. Well, then fuck you and your wife. It's just like, wow, oh no, we can't insult Israel. Oh no, like it's just so stupid.
It is also like everyone in like DC and like political media, they're always fighting like the battle from 5 years ago. I think it'll be another 5 years before these people realize like just how quickly, how far public perception of Israel fell. For all I know, these guys might just think this is a temporary thing or just literally not believe it. They might just fucking block it out.
Yeah.
And in 10 years, they'll be like, okay, we need to allow like some criticism of it. But by that point, they will have like, so many people will have like gotten fired and fucking reprimanded and deported for all this shit. There's just like, no one's going to listen to that. Like, why would they?
Oh, shit. Out of the heat map here, one of my highest familiarity level comes from Trump voters. I wonder why I have such a fucking bad approval rating overall, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's because of your bigotry.
Yeah. My anti-Trump bigotry.
They're like, no, I think that, yeah, they're like, we love two things in this household: President Trump and Jewish self-determination.
Anyway,
this is a real dumb poll.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Politico asked a bunch of Democratic politicians running for president or who might run for president if they would ever do his podcast. And the only two Jews thinking about possibly running for president, Rahm Emanuel and Josh Shapiro, both suggested that they might be willing.
Yeah, Rahm Emanuel said he'd come on my stream.
All right, man. He is just...
It's so funny because I've asked none of these people to come on the stream.
I think you should have Josh Shapiro on. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I'm
What's
down.
up, kinfolk? I was just getting right with my preacher man.
Yeah.
I just wanted to correct the record. I've never spun a damn dreidel. I didn't have no damn
this gets to something important with this.
Yeah, he's going to come up and be like... And
pussy too.
So he's going to say...
We need to tell Donald Trump, get your own damn fries.
Yeah.
This debate in Michigan, it's different to go onto his podcast and joust over ideas. I think seeing Josh Shapiro and Hasan Piker on his Twitch stream would be fascinating. I think Josh Shapiro is smart and they would have a spirited debate, as we say in politics. The difference is going out to campaign with somebody and the candidate.
Look, he's totally conceding that, like, I'm not trying to cancel the guy.
Right.
But, like, you know, don't put him on to stump for you, right? Like, what's the distinction then? Like, why do you get to make this decision?
Yeah.
Someone else.
I was smart and they would have
one of the best, I don't know if it's still this way, one of the best self-authored Wikipedia articles I've ever read.
Oh, he wrote it himself?
It very much rivals Tyler Fisher.
Planty Andy, thank you for the 50 get the subs.
Damn. He's sort of like a successful Tyler Fisher, if you think about it. God, his eyes are so fucking evil. It scares me.
The difference is
like, you know how in Elden Ring, how
that's my favorite Snapchat commentator, man. Put some respect on it, please.
I know. This is not a commentary on how good he is at being a Snapchat. He's better than anyone I've ever known.
Yeah.
But you know how in Elden Ring, how like every time someone talks to you, they're like, oh, you're tarnished. And it's implied that like anyone who isn't tarnished, they have the gold grace in their eyes.
Yeah.
This is like what tarnished people look like to people given grace by America and the Erd Tree. They have Peter Hamby's scary eyes.
Going out to campaign with somebody and the candidate, it's implicitly endorsing his views or suggesting, why don't you come to Michigan and campaign with me? That's...
Oh my God.
Bro,
Can you get some guidance of grace,
also,
pal?
what's really funny about this is like there's no moral equivalence here anyway, but it's like, dude, like Donald Trump had Little Pump and Jake Paul on stage. Like,
yeah.
Like none of this stuff matters. Like you're trying to make it matter. It doesn't matter to you either, right? Because like, do you think these guys had any takes whatsoever to be like, why are you fucking hanging out with Liz Cheney?
Yeah.
Why are you doing Cheney? No, of course not. They didn't have any issues with that at all. It's just what I represent, they have an issue with. And they're trying to find a way to make it like politically salient to be like, yo, don't do it. Don't link up with him.
You know who has said a crazier thing than you have ever fucking said ever is fucking Charlemagne.
What did he say?
He had some really fucked up segment that, just for fear of me not remembering right, I'm not going to try to totally summarize. And that's not to say like fuck him, because I don't know the entire, like, you know, I don't know if that was like him literally saying something he did. Like, probably not, considering how crazy it was. But if you're just going to do this thing of like tarnishing people by their associations, the point is you can do this with pretty much everyone in the Democratic surrogacy field already.
Yeah.
All of the guys who are already completely accepted, where no one bats an eye if a presidential candidate does it. This is just so fucking selective, and you can no longer keep it cordoned off to one guy or another at this point. It's either no one or it's fucking everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they think this is like I mean, it's just not like a successful angle of attack. It's just so stupid.
It's so antiquated. It's for such an old theory and style of media. This maybe worked in the world where, like, you know, even people in the Trump administration could be fired because of articles. We don't live in that world anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And also, like, we have the audience, like they don't. The reality of the matter is, like, there's no more gatekeeping of that sort where you don't have the control that you used to have as far as like who's appropriate, who's inappropriate. And that's what the Democrats are like not reckoning with at all.
Yeah.
Republicans have understood that, which is why they also like don't have an issue leaning into their base anyway.
Yeah.
But even then, they're like desperately trying to figure out exactly how they can still court the Nick Fuentes fan base and like the Candace Owens fan base. And they're arguing amongst themselves a little bit because they recognize that like there's no way to like shut off that faucet.
Right.
Whereas Democrats think like, oh, we'll get like favorable coverage from Jake Tapper and we'll attack these like independent content creators and we'll be able to like dominate the airwaves about how fucking bad this guy is. And part of the reason why they're doing it is because I do get favorable press coverage from a lot of mainstream outlets and they read that shit and that pisses them off.
Yeah.
That's the reason why Jewish Insider will do like 11 articles. They've done 8 articles in the last 6 days on me. 8 articles. Like, am I the number one thing that American Jews should be caring about right now? Are you out of your fucking mind, dude? And then also,
they're coming
one
out
of the
with new
articles was I'm
Volvos.
irrelevant. The other one was I'm irrelevant and shouldn't be paid attention
Yeah,
to.
that's fucking perfect. That's fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
weird. It's like,
By the way, I'm not even thinking about you.
yeah, like it's awesome. I'm glad that they did that. Yeah, I'm glad that they tied it up. Okay, then shut the fuck up about me. Democratic majority for Israel. Yeah, I mean it's over. It's just like ridiculous. There's no majority at all. It's a 90-10 issue. You've lost.
I think
It's
candidates
also so
should be
weird.
able to
The
go
other
on
thing
the
that's
podcast.
strange about it is like, okay, well, if we're no longer in this world where a single article can like derail every staffing decision of a campaign or like completely there was a way to sidestep this defining you for a media cycle, then that also seems like it could be advantageous for Democrats. It could be advantageous for any fucking candidate for anything. Obviously, there are massive downsides to it too, right? But like, just if you are this party, right, where you were so stymied by the way that in the view of the Democrats, the view of the Democrats is that like the media stabbed them in the back, then you should welcome this. Of course, the opposite is true. This entire strategy of like using mainstream media as a cudgel is so weird to me also because it's like up until the Afghanistan pullout, but even after that too, a lot of mainstream media was sort of like, if not in the tank for Biden, certainly intent on protecting him. How well did that work? How well did that work? I mean, like, I will argue that the liberal media and just the vestigial organ of the liberal administrative state used the last bits of their magic to defend Brandon for another like 2 years.
Yeah.
Which constitutes one of the greatest wastes of resources of all time. But it just like, no, you guys, you can't do this to people anyway. Like you can annoy people and make life irritating for them, but you can't like completely get them out of the fucking paint like you used to.
Yeah. No, it's done. And unironically, we're in a media environment where like if someone doubles down on that association like Abdul's doing, they get fucking rewarded too. Like he's now in the top 5 of campaign contributions for the week on Act Blue in this last media cycle. So it, in my opinion, it totally fucking backfired on them anyway.
Yeah.
And like Bernie came out and was like, this is ridiculous. Like he does a great job talking about me, like saying, you know, they yelled at me when I went on Joe Rogan. We're not going to agree on everything, but it doesn't matter. You know, this kind of conversation is so stupid.
Yeah.
And because it is, most normal people look at this stuff and they think, yeah, why are we talking about this? Donald Trump is literally fucking like Donald Trump is made gas $1 more expensive per gallon because he went to war with Iran, a country that wasn't doing anything, by the way, at the behest of Israel. And this is your angle of attack? Like, fuck Israel. You know what I mean?
I mean, I just, The thing that I always go back to and the thing that I worry about a lot is that it's encouraging where the Democratic base is with Israel. But I do get worried over the propensity of the Democratic base to fall in line, because we all remember those polls about how much Democratic primary voters love Medicare for all. I do sort of think that we are in a brave new world of just how shitty Democratic leadership is. But
I think there's an opportunity there, which is why they're so desperately attacking people like myself, because I recognize the opportunity. I want to seize on it to elect people that normally would be unthinkable to elect into positions within the party. And just like kind of, even if it's not to like change the way that the caucus is shaped within the party structure, at least like offer a lot more prominence to individuals like that, individuals with like that represent a very different ideology, to get people more on board. You know, instead of having one Zoran or one Bernie Sanders, you have 10 of them, maybe 20 of them, and all of a sudden people are like, well, why can't we have more of this guy?
If there could be something where like you accomplish what a lot of those pro-Palestine protests in 2023 and 2024 did, where it was a much broader swath of people than anyone had anticipated, where the people who listen to, you know, the I've Had It podcast and the people who are over here can understand that at least like with Israel, they can be in the same place. They're seeking to accomplish the same thing. Then I can be pretty optimistic about it. But yeah, no, we'll see. I mean, it's a fucking new look for Democratic voters, right? It's an easy group of people to scare in line, though. Maybe that will not always be the case.
Yeah, and there's still polls that are like, "What's your number one pick?" And they're like Kamala Harris, and
right. That's what.
So blackpilling to hear, but you know,
who
knows?
Yeah, the people who disagree with them. But yeah, I mean, the politics of Israel heading into 2028 are going to be fascinating. You're already seeing tons of Democrats kind of come out against AIPAC.
Right.
But also defending Israel. Gavin Newsom obviously had to walk back, calling Israel an apartheid state. The other thing that's a factor,
that was a real successful move by him.
Yeah,
like,
is there anyone more transparent than that fucking guy?
Dude, it's so funny because like when you do that, it's doubly worse.
Yeah,
because like now you pissed off people who are pro-Israel, and you pissed off people who are anti-Israel, and more like the number one thing that people hate about Democrats is like they're inconsistent. They're like. They're slimy. They don't have like real moral backbone. At least like Republicans are fucking assholes, but they like stand for something.
Yeah.
Democrats are always so afraid of like coming across as believing in things that it's just, you end up looking like a flip-flop, just as Kamala Harris did when she turned back and was like, actually, we're going to fund the wall. Trump is not serious about funding his own border wall. Like, you're an idiot when you say stuff like that, because the average voter goes, oh, what the fuck? You said Republicans were racist for years for wanting to build this border wall that's unnecessary. Now you want to build it, so you're conceding on that? Who am I supposed to believe, you know?
The worst thing you can be, the worst thing that someone can realize about you as a politician is that if someone yells at you loud enough, not even like a specific amount of people, not even a critical mass, just if they yell at you at the right volume, you will completely about face. That is the thing that makes me horrified for any further prospects for the AOC project. But it's also possibly like triply true for fucking Gruesome Gavin. He is the worst at that. Like, he is the most transparent fucking person ever in all that shit. I am really interested to see what happens with him, because I get a very liberal DeSantis type vibe from him. DeSantis stood by the repugnant things that he says he believes.
Yeah.
But I mean, a liberal DeSantis in the sense that like that shit is not going to play outside of his home state. People think he just looks the part, and they don't realize that there's more than that.
Yeah.
Here.
And
the more Democrats engage with influencers heading into 2028, they're going to have to confront some views, things they might have said in the past.
quick one-sentence final thoughts on this? You worried about the direction of Democrats?
I agree that they should be able to debate, but they have to come in clear-eyed and know that they're there to debate and push back on these bad ideas, not to get it.
Yeah, on Israel. No, come on my stream and defend Israel for Jonah fucking Platt, dude. Anyone that wants to like become the president on the Democratic side or even on the Republican side in 2028, because I mean, as I say all the time, this is going forward going to be the most popular Israel will ever be. Tomorrow, Israel is going to be less popular than today, and yesterday, Israel was more popular than today. So what do you think is 2028 going to look like? Like, what do you think? You think people are just Israel's going to be able to like fucking flip this all around? You know, all magically, and then everyone's gonna be like, you know what, we were wrong. We love the genocide now.
Wait till gas gets even more expensive.
Yeah,
that's gonna do it. That's gonna fucking do it, man.
Yeah, no, everyone's gonna be like, actually, we love Israel now. Please tell me more about how much, how awesome it is that, you know, my brother came back in a fucking flag draped casket. Because he went out there after saying, I'm not dying for Israel and voting for Donald Trump. He actually did literally die for Israel.
Yeah.
You know?
Again, you know, it's a real, you'll have something to fucking cry about type thing. Like, hey, I don't want it to be, but like, well, you know, the Bible, first part of the Bible, is filled with stories like this. It's filled with stories like this where we're like, we're the best. No one's going to fuck with us. Whoops. All our shit got fucked up. Whoops. Whoops. It's the end of our part of the Bible. We have to invent the afterlife because we fucked up so bad.
Yeah.
Chummy and have a fun conversation.
Thanks so much for being.
Yeah, you better call him out on his anti-Israel statements. By the way, Jonah Platt, like the guy that Jake Tapper had on to discuss this.
He's a lunatic.
Like, normal guy, dude. Who amongst us hasn't done a children's platform, 12 plus billion views, 19.2 million subscribers, more than the entire Jewish population on earth? This isn't fringe. This is how narratives get mainstream.
And her narrative is, it's sad and bad when children are killed by bombs and bullets, and that shouldn't happen. That's her extreme narrative. It's not like, look, God bless her, right? Fucking God bless her. But she is not out there like, let's go IRGC. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
she's not teaching them quotes, Yahya Sinwar quotes.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like, I just, if that's not okay, just fucking wait, man. Just fucking wait.
Yeah, they just, they do not understand what's going on. This person says the overwhelming majority of American public does not know who Hasan Piker is. The people who do are largely young, left-leaning, and disaffected, also known as voters. The Democrats desperately need to turn out for them in the midterms. Yeah. Oh, here it is. I read all 683 of Miss Rachel's posts since October 7th. She has a problem with the Jews.
Dude,
Miss Rachel
I don't
posted on
recommend
Instagram
this to most people, but
about
Ben
having
Platt,
messy
start playing
mom.
War Thunder. It's a better use of your fucking time, pal.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's awesome.
How many views does this have?
11,000.
Why is he on CNN?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Because Jake Tapper will have anybody on as long as they're, you know, they're super pro Israel.
They should have a guy. Why? How come they don't have just like an avowed anti-Semite on? You know, I mean, if you're really